Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is set to introduce many different revelations as well as twists and turns that will also have connections to the prequels and the originals that will lead to saga-wide implications in this story by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film, at the end of the day, is of course going to provide all of these different twists and turns that's going to change our perception of the 8 Star Wars movies that come before this one. And we do know that a lot of reshoots are happening as we speak throughout the month of September and this month of October. In fact, they plan to end reshoots by mid to late October, which is when they plan to completely finish the movie and enter the final phase of post-production. Now, on top of all this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intense for Episode 9 between the character of Rey and Darth Vader. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that Rey is said to be making her way to the Lost City, where she eventually is said to find a series of catacombs that lead to a place called the Land of the Forbidden, which is said to be a place full of ancient Sith ruins. It's explained that when Rey goes down to the Sith ruins, she begins to hear dark side whispers reaching out to her, followed by the breathing of Darth Vader. It's explained that Rey is inside of a powerful force nexus within the Sith ruins, where eventually Rey is said to see the apparition of Darth Vader's Sith Wraith in the distance, where it's explained that the Sith Wraith of Darth Vader is described to make its way closer by igniting its red lightsaber blade, followed by Rey igniting her blue blade, where she is said to exchange a couple of clashes with the Vader Sith Wraith, where Rey is said to become frightened, where she is said to eventually defeat the Sith Wraith of Vader. Though Vader's Force Ghost is actually said to be a thing in reality, this was said to just be in the form of a vision for Rey of Vader's Sith Wraith, where she fights him in a one-on-one duel like Luke and Vader did on Dagobah. However, it's explained that the Land of the Forbidden will put Rey through a series of dark side tests about how she handles the dark side and the darkness within her, where eventually after her duel with Vader, she is actually set to fight a dark side version of herself, followed by a Sith version of Kylo Ren. The sequence is said to be very dark and gritty and all initiated by Palpatine from afar. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, the thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that this movie is actually trying to make itself out to be the darkest Star Wars film out of the entire Skywalker saga. At least, well, that's what J.J. Abrams plans to do with Episode 9, right? That's what he plans to do with The Rise of Skywalker. He wants to make it the darkest one there is, and that's pretty much, his big plan for this movie, as well as throwing in a lot of revelations. Now, let's go over the vision of the Sith Wraith of Darth Vader. Now, you guys may recall the Sith Wraith of Vader / Anakin was a big thing that J.J. Abrams wanted to do in, of course, The Force Awakens that never made it to the final cut. Now, though the Sith Wraith of Vader is said to be in the film, but this part is actually just said to be in the form of a vision that's being used as a test, if you will, in order to combat against Rey and to test her limits and to test her dark side abilities. Now, what I like about this is that it's not just Darth Vader that she goes up against, kind of similar to how Luke went up against Vader on Dagobah, but she goes through a series of challenges, and this also lines directly up with the other leaks that we went over a couple of weeks ago about how Rey is going to go through a series of tests in this movie during one of her personal missions in the second act of the film. So not only does she fight the Sith Wraith of Darth Vader, but also, of course, the mirror image of the dark side version of herself, Dark Rey, followed by the Sith version of Kylo Ren, pretty much projecting a potential future version of Kylo Ren by Palpatine's side. Now, all of these visions, all 3 of them, are actually said to be initiated by Palpatine from afar, over in the unknown regions, testing Rey's ability with the dark side. Now, the other leaks that we went over suggest that she is indeed the granddaughter of Palpatine, so it's very possible that Palpatine is testing his granddaughter's abilities and her limits and exactly what she's able to do and how well she's able to resist the dark side or not. So that really is a big thing on, of course, the table here for Episode 9, the fact that they really are are trying to test Rey in such creepy ways as projecting these visions before her. I think it's really going to be a very interesting experience. Now, sure, we got a little taste of the visions to come in The Rise of Skywalker in that second teaser trailer over at D23, where we saw Dark Rey with the double-bladed red lightsaber. It was pretty amazing and very intriguing, and I gotta say, I mean, it's going to be very cool to see exactly how that's going to be used on the big screen, what the fight between the two are actually going to look like. You know, I think that the fact that they're trying to do something very similar to The Empire Strikes Back, yet different, is very clever of Disney and Lucasfilm. You know, instead of just having her fight Dark Rey, she's also fighting the Sith Wraith of Darth Vader in the form of a vision, as well as, of course, a Sith version of course, Kylo Ren, projecting a potential future of his future self. So that's very interesting as well. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.